Welcome. Today I have not a lot of energy and I actually have something I need to actually do later. So I was looking for a way to connect and continue our conversation that wouldn't take too much of my energy. And I had a question or a concern earlier, and I thought, I'm just going to take one of my favorite books of guidance and open to a page and see what it has to say for me. And the page that I opened to after I started reading actually really made enough sense to me that I thought, I'm just going to read that to everyone. So I hope you don't mind. This book is The Woman's Book of Guardians, Divine Guides, Muses, Totems, and Protectors for Everyday Life by Peg Streep. And my mother got this book for me many years ago, but it is, and it's one of my favorites. So the page that I turned to was part of this little mini chapter on ingenuity. Okay. For matters great and small, the balancing acts of all of our lives, we call upon Ariadne to help us find a hidden talent when we're confronted by a challenge. This quality provides the remedy when our other efforts to resolve or change a situation have fallen short. Ingenuity helps us find a new route when the road is closed, mend a bad breach with perfectly chosen words, or tape up a hem with whatever sticky is at hand. It is what inspires us to make lemonade when life hands us a truckload of lemons. Begin by remembering that the words ingenuity and ingenious have the words spirit or guardian buried within them. Ingenious and genius have shared Latin roots, and what we call cleverness or ingeniousness, the Romans credited to the specific genius or spirit who presided over each individual's birth. Ingenuousness, or as the Romans had it, ingenium, was innate, something you were born with, provided by your resident spirit. Keeping this in mind, we turned to the Greek Ariadne. Her story tells us that the simplest of resources can become the greatest of tools when we call upon our ingeniousness or our innate spirit to solve the problem at hand. Ariadne teaches us not to look high or far to find a solution, but to look simply and clearly. Most often, what we need is no more than the thread of wisdom we already possess. Ariadne was the daughter of Minos, the legendary king of Crete, and his wife, Pasiphae, whose connection to lunar wisdom is indicated by her name, which means all-shining. Minos had disobeyed the wishes of Poseidon, the mighty god of the oceans, and in punishment, Poseidon called Pasiphae to fall in love with a bull. Pasiphae then gave birth to a monster, the Minotaur, half man, half beast, who was imprisoned in an impenetrable labyrinth. So many big words, and my brain is tired. Each year, the best of Athenian youth was sacrificed to satisfy the monster's hunger. Ariadne fell in love with the hero Theseus, whose task was to kill the Minotaur in the labyrinth from which no one had ever emerged alive. Although myth presents her as mortal, Ariadne may well have been a moon goddess like her mother, for her name means all holy. The wisdom she possessed was as simple and clear as the reflected light of the moon in the night. She gave Theseus no more than a humble thread to unwind as he made his way through the maze to its center, and to guide him out again while she held its end fast in her hand. Ariadne's ingenuity permitted Theseus to emerge from the labyrinth intact, to emerge from darkness into light, as a victor and hero. In the same way, our small ingenuities, the special ways we wrap gifts, make an impromptu dinner feel like a party, or comfort a crying child, permit everyday beauties and joys to emerge fully for ourselves and those around us. This same thread of ingenuity allows us to navigate larger crises, or problems with resourcefulness and clarity. Ariadne teaches us that true ingenuity lies deep within our spirit, a ray of moonlight temporarily hidden away from view. She reminds us to look for the simple solution first and foremost, and to trust our instincts when we think we have found an answer. Her wisdom is lunar, intuitive, deep, and stirring. We need to rid ourselves of distraction so that we can enter the maze we need to confront and allow our inner thread to guide us out. Choose a bit of colored string, cord, yarn, or ribbon symbolic of the thread within. Choose any color except black. Among those, you may want to consider are white, the color of the new moon, purple, signifying deliberate action, or red for energy and strength. You can keep the string loose and unknotted in your pocket or purse, or tie it around your wrist in a circle of completion. Remember that the string can keep you tethered when you feel you are in danger of drifting away from what needs to be done. It is also a reminder that the most complicated of weavings begins with a single thread. Ariadne's wisdom can lead us into the future. Try to visualize the answer you already possess but cannot access. Look in a mirror and imagine Ariadne's knowledge within you. Look past the surface, past the details of eyes, skin, hair, and focus on the self within. Let your inner spirit, the repository of all the many threads of imagination, creativity, and resourcefulness unique to you, rise to the surface. In your journal, write about the ways in which you've dealt with challenges in the past and work on recognizing their common threads. Look at these links closely, and your ingenuity will come forth. Now, I actually have a fairly different understanding of colors and what they mean, so of course, as always, take what works for you. And in fact, if the meanings to a specific color are very different for you, but they are appropriate for whatever purpose you're working towards, do that. Have a little bit of thread in your pocket or around your wrist or on your altar, a little bit of yarn or something that will remind you that you are grounded and tethered here, and that you have so much resourcefulness and creativity and an ability to solve problems in yourself. And if you can find the problems that you have solved and look at the pattern, find the way that repeats itself for you or the theme of the solutions that you have found, that's a really strong piece of knowledge. It's a really strong skill to carry forward with you, knowing that you can apply to any challenge or problem this piece of ingenuity that you have within, and you can start doing that intentionally when you're faced with something. So I'm just really exhausted. I think I'm probably need to eat something as well. It doesn't have to be my best to be important and worthwhile. So with that, I'm happy to have continued our conversation, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. Be well.